How many pages again, Doc?
It was over 1,000. I had to take out about 200 of them. It's now 709. If I do another re-up on it, which is the reason why it became 700 pages, is because I had to go back and substantiate. Most people didn't believe what I was saying because they thought it was just off the top of my head as a metaphysician. What are your facts? What are the things? Who said that? And how did you know this and all that? And again, that's the Europeans' slave mentality. People can't even hear or even analyze the truth when they hear it. They need to know that somebody else said it first before they can have permission to even think that it might be the truth. That's how much enslaved we are. You don't got no footnotes in the Bible. You don't got no references to see whether or not Jesus was saying what he was, but you got a bunch of niggas in church that's definitely worshiping him. Ain't nobody questioning where it is we heard anything about it. But when Brother Valentine says, hey, sister, you screwed up at this point, I'm screwed up at this point, and here's why. Nah, that ain't it. See, that's the kind of mentality we have today. And the reason why it's 700 pages is because I went back and I put 130 references, books that they could go back to, articles they could go back to, research papers they could go back to that I did my due diligence in finding. So it isn't just, this book is not just a frivolous bunch of pages put together. It is a coming together of metaphysical, occult, economic, political, all of it mixed up and meshed up, mythology, all of that, so that there's a full balanced viewpoint that you could pull from. And a lot of people now, then they say, well, I'm going to go ahead and break down and get it. Then they get it. Brother called me. He said he got it for his lady. They just sat it up on the shelf, didn't read it for about 2 months. They pulled it down, and that's all they did. They've been marking it up, putting the yellow things to it, going to school with it, reading it back and forth to each other.
Indeed.
Well, I'll tell you this. Like I said, brother, this Saturday at 7 o'clock, for those brothers and sisters who want to be on this to find out about this wounded womb and what's been happening to us, to really look at this gender equation, to really look about masculine and feminine, to look at this homosexual equation and see what it is being used as a weapon, pretty much a weapon for defertilizing the black community. And people don't understand that. People don't understand what it is, how it's being operated, what it is. It's an actual tactical plan, a tool. How they now are using women's eggs and women's stem cells, and they're now creating sperm out of female stem cells so that they could fertilize another female if the two women are married. So now we are into that position at this point where science is going to back up what you feel your independence has gotten you. And that is, you can choose whether you want to have a baby, whether you want to have a man, or you want to have a woman. It is now hog-ass wild. But it's this, you don't see it because it's not going to come and say, okay, everybody, go gay. And I love what that sister said. Everybody's gay. I forgot what the name of that sister was, but she she really read the whole hip hop community, or the rap community actually, and she started showing all of the superstars, with their eye makeup and I forgot her name. Yeah. She was fun to listen to, but she was on point. But what I'm saying is they're not going to come at you kabang. It is going to be insinuated like they're doing it in schools now. Part of the school curriculum is to now desensitize you and get you to accept gay. So now the children are being told by their school counselors that instead of being revulsed by some, the idea of looking at two men and two women tongue kissing in the park when they walk by, is to investigate that and say, well, what is it that makes you feel that? Now your revulsion, your natural revulsion as a heterosexual, it means that you were programmed into believing that was something wrong with that. You're now going to be given the okie doke. You now got to reverse your psychology, which is based on your natural instincts. Now you got to say that that's somehow an illness on your part. So heterosexuals who see that as deviance are somehow sick. And now they're going to get a psychiatric term for that, and they're going to throw that into the community for them to accept. So the game is real deep. And if you're not looking at it like, if you're not looking at it like that, if you don't see it as a very deep psychological game being played on you very subtly, then you're going to find yourself 10 years, 20 years down the line with your children accepting this as normal and participating in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's taking place as we speak. You know, the youthful generation that are coming up as a result of MTV, because they had the dating shows where the parents would have, their daughter or their son, and they would choose a date for the daughter or the son. So, they had son on son or daughter on daughter. A lot of these children have grown up watching this. They've grown up watching Maury Povich. I remember as a youth when we were watching these talk shows, Ricky Lake, it started with Richard Bay, then it evolved into Ricky Lake, then it degenerated into Jerry Springer, then it metamorphed into Maury Povich. When we first began watching these shows, we knew that they were scripted shows and would laugh about them. Yo, that's bugged out. But as time went along and as the social program got a little more, got a little more accepted by the masses, then it became the norm. So now you're watching Maury, and the guy comes on, and he's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I was married to this lady over here, but I'm sleeping with her brother, and that's the norm now. So the parents who knew that it was scripted and it was false, they brushed it off, but the children who came behind them, and remember, these are daytime talk shows, so the children are exposed to this in the daytime. They're watching it on their phones. They're watching it at home. It's in syndication. They don't know that it's scripted. They're looking at this as the norm.
Right.
So they're saying to themselves, popular culture, you go to me and my wife had arguments about this in the household. I'm like, why are you watching the Shopping Network channel with my son sitting there, and every man on the Shopping Network channel is a homosexual? What, you got to be gay to shop now? You got to be gay to paint your house? Like, what are they telling you? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And she, it ain't even like she's for that. So I'm like, if you're not for that lifestyle, why would you even subject yourself? I don't care about, Ralph Lauren bed sheets and all of that. You don't need these people to tell you how to hook your house up. Like, turn that off.
Here's what I'm saying right now. There's where you, as the man, are supposed to step in as the condition first authority, the conditional first authority to put a stop to that. Woman is unconditional. She will look at things and say, oh, well, she critiques. She will critique it as this and that, but she's looking at it as entertainment, as whatever it is. She's not looking at that particular thing as a conditional authority. She's not. And, and women are saying, well, I can make up my mind. No, there are things that you do just based on your instinct that the society has now created a condition where you and what you think is correct over whatever it is that the men. I had a brother call me today because his woman and he are not at terms. Now she goes to the doctor to get ready to give this 1-year-old child an injection, some kind of other drugs, and he's now lamenting that he can't put his foot down about that. Why? Because the state has given her power, and they know, based on her nature, that she will go to the authority that she's been told she can trust. She was told she can't trust him, so she goes to the doctor. And I told her, I said, you know that you have a life there in your hand, and if you don't start investigating as the mother what's the best for your child, then that child is going to become your burden later on. So now you better listen to the man. If he's talking sense, do not brush him off. And this is what is automatically given to the woman today. And when they have their conversations, they can have conversations now based around the fact that they can override the man And they gloat about these things, not realizing that if they have not done the types of studies that supposedly a good man, if they chose to lay down and open their legs for this man, what were they thinking about him at the time? Did they take the time to know that he was righteous? Did he did his studies and so forth? Then why aren't you listening to him now? What is it that you're doing as a woman that you now have to regret and go through this kind of drama after the fact? So what has happened now is that women have been told that whatever emotional feelings they have about a situation can override reason until reason is told to them by an authority that they were told to trust. So no longer you as a man, you have to learn to step up. And that's what I'm saying to you. Your queen was watching something because it was there. I'm watching the church. It's a shopping network. And, yes, well, homosexual. No, she wasn't thinking about the youth, was looking at that situation. That's because you have to be there to tell her that does not go. This is what has to happen. And if she's not paying attention to that, then she needs to step up. This is what's missing. This is the family structure I'm talking about, that we have now glided into this matter-of-fact madness that we're not even looking at it as a structural breakage, that the infrastructure of our society, where the original, again, you have to deal with the conditional first authority. That is, he looks at it, he sees it, and in his mind, if he is just and he is righteous, he says, no, that can't go, because in this family, this is how we have already said that this is how things will go. And you're supposed to keep the law and order in there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you step up and say that does not go, our child is being given that. This is the most impressionable age. The child is learning this. We have to teach that child distinctions at this point, period.
Yes.